So, I've been studying a lot of quantum physics lately because hell of an interesting subject to me, and because I had a few ideas. I heard about quantum mechanics and a couple ideas about the nature and reality of the universe hit me. I was like, oh shit, there might be a theory in this bitch. So, I started studying quantum mechanics, how it works, how it functions, and something hit me because I've been also studying life and the nature of life. So I got into quantum mechanics to pretty much figure out how life works and all that other jazz. And I became, and through my studies of trying to develop this theory of mine, I came across an idea that I think is actually pretty accurate. And yeah, and so I'm just making a video talking about this idea. And what is that idea? There's a fifth fundamental force in the universe that seems kind of fucking glaringly obvious, but I think we've missed it. And what is this fifth fundamental force, you may be asking? It is, drumroll, time! Time. Time is a force within the universe. You want to know how time is a force within this universe? Bitch, look at me! Now it works. Time is a force within this universe because I exist. I am moving through time. Time is the thing that is supporting pretty much everything about me. Like, at this very moment, if you're watching this video, you know what you're being supported by? Time. And I think life inherently is actually supported by time inherently. So what do I mean? I've been asking this question, so there's this, like, foundation and shit. It's like, if you can find out and figure out, like, what is life? You know what I mean? Like, what is the variance of life? What is between life and a rock? And it's something that, like, scientists kind of stopped asking. You know what I mean? And I think I actually figured it out. Life is just freaking chemical reactions that use time as its basis for movement and existence. Like, the way I think of it is you got a whole bunch of fucking proteins, all these chemical reactions and shit going on in the world and stuff, and you have this consistent and constant flow of time flowing through the universe. You want to know how there's a constant, consistent flow of time throughout the universe? Bitch, again, look at me. This is relied upon the flow of time. But more so than there being a flow of time, which is obvious, I think that time itself carries a level of energy to it. It may not be energy the way we think of it, but I think time inherently has a energy within it. Because what I think happened with life and the creation of life was pretty much, at one point in time, there was just all these chemical reactions, and these chemical reactions started to kind of ingest or move along with the flow of time. And so the second these chemical reactions, you know what I mean, from matter to this, to that, to the other, the second these chemical reactions start to use the flow of time to actually engage with energy around it as a mechanism to take and gain energy is the second life was created. So pretty much, I mean, if you look at it, like pretty much everything is due to the flow of time. DNA, for instance. Its structural reality exists due to the conditions that are created to imprint certain elements of knowledge that be gained through the element of time. And in fact, DNA, like you have a seed, you can put a seed in a freaking place forever, you know what I mean, 100 years, and you can take that seed out, plant it in the ground, and it will spring up. How can it do that? Because I think that the fucking seed is actually engaging with the flow of time itself. And so what is life? Life is just an element of the universe in one functionality or another that has used the flow of time as a mechanism for the gaining and retention of energy. And I think honestly, if you really look at it, it makes a whole bunch of sense because it's kind of there. I mean, look at a tree. You know what I mean? Look at a tree. What does a tree look like? Honestly. I'll just go outside. What does a freaking tree look like? It looks like movement through time. Clearly. Like, look at that. You got this. Where's my finger? Here we go. You got the stump here, or you got the branch here, or the stump here. It's not a stump, but the tree here, the main part of the tree, the body of the tree. And what is this created from? The movement of time. Energy has been retained through the movement of time, and it keeps going up and going up and going up, and then you have, leaves. What do leaves do? They take energy through the movement of time, and they use it as a capacity to develop and grow. I think that's the inherent reality of what time is and what life is. Life is a functionality of the universe that uses time as this basis of engagement. And that would require that time actually has some form of energy. Because, and I think it's very clear that, like, how am I moving? There is energy in a functional way. I'm not sure how this energy works, but there's an energy within time that functionally aids along movement, an independent movement, and the growth of development through time of animals and evolution, all this other stuff, is pretty much the functionality of the engagement of time. You know what I mean? We engage with this, we engage with that. Evolution is the functional development of mechanisms and organisms through time. And I think, again, time has an inherent energy. And because of the fact, well, how else do you get something moving? You know what I mean? How else do you change a rock or just a bunch of random assorted atoms into something that condenses and coalesces? And what is this thing? What is life condensed upon? What is the major mechanism that life rests upon? It's time. It's the movement of, if time, and for instance, if time was sporadic, you know what I mean? Like time went like, you know what I mean? There would be no consistency there. But because time itself moves in a consistent manner, or you could look at like the freaking turning of the sun and the earth, time exists in a very consistent manner. And if it wasn't for that consistent manner, I do not think life could form. And so what do I think life is? Life is the formation of atoms and particles and chemicals. I guess time is the formation of chemical reactions that rely upon time as this basis of sustainability. And as such, it means that time is a fundamental force because it exists everywhere, and it is the reason for, like, even potential energy. Like, potential energy only exists due to the fact that time exists. If time didn't exist, potential energy would mean nothing. So there must be an inherent energy within time because time leads to the very existence of potential energy within itself. And so I think it, again, is a fundamental force. And I think this is kind of, might be one of the major reasons that there's been a lot of kind of gaps in our knowledge about the universe and its functionality. It's because we haven't put time into the equation. And as such, if I'm right, which I think I am, because life and stuff, I think if you study life, you're going to look at the potential capacity for energy. Or it's, so if time is a fundamental force, then that means that there is an inherent level of energy and it exerts itself upon the universe itself, which I would like literally have a hard time hearing anybody explain to me why time doesn't exert its force upon the universe itself. But it means that it probably has a particle or probably has something accessible, observable, or understandable. And I think that we could look to life as a basis for studying the potential possibility of time having an effect or a particle. So yeah, I think time is the fifth fundamental force that we've kind of missed out on. So yeah, there we go. Deuces. It's me. Also, I'm working on proving that naturalism is bullshit. So, quantum mechanics, philosophy, whatever. I just like thinking about stuff. Anyways, you guys have a good one, deuces. Oh, who knows? I could be completely wrong. I don't think I am. Again, we're moving through time. If it wasn't for time, I gain existence and energy through the movement of time. If it wasn't for time as a basis for anything, all the energy I have could not be dispersed, could not be used, and could not be engaged with in any functional capacity. It's the fact that time exists and flows as it does that it even gives me the capacity to say words, to think things. And I think it's a fundamental force. Another interesting idea, what is the effect of time on our brains? Really crazy. That is a crazy conception. Very crazy stuff. But yeah, deuces.